One potential problem in implementing a comprehensive safety management is the risk of cost-cutting and undermining safety. The Hindustan Times reported in 2019 that UCIL shut down the MIC refrigeration system purely to save money. This was actually a move that increased chemical volatility. There's also another issue, that is inconsistent enforcement of safety rules. So Robbins, Bergman, and Coulter in 2019, which were the references we used, actually emphasized that bureaucratic control only works when rules are strictly applied and monitored. So finally, we're moving on to the final part. As Dara pointed out, in 2012, there was a lack of training and an absence of regular drill workers left unprepared. So even if we had the best system on paper, it may fail without proper education and practice.
Our first recommendation is to implement a comprehensive safety management and control system. This essentially is a framework that integrates safety into every operational layer of the business, rather than treating it as a separate compliance activity. To put this into action, the first step would be to conduct a full risk assessment across all operations. This means identifying every possible hazard, ranging all from equipment malfunctions and to human errors. This will help avoid the risk of the tragedy accident that happened in India, and also analyzing the potential impact of each. Next, we will establish clear safety protocols and standard operating procedures for every process, with no exceptions at all. These must be documented, accessible, and regularly updated to reflect any operational changes. The third step would be mandatory training for all personnel, from entry-level staff all the way to high CEOs, ensuring that both groups understand the procedures and reasons behind them. Training should also include simulations of emergency scenarios to prepare employees for any situation at all. Finally, we would create a continuous improvement loop, meaning we don't just set the system and forget it. Regular audits, inspections, and employee feedback sessions would allow us to adapt and improve over time. This isn't just about compliance, it's about embedding safety into the culture of the organization.
These tasks will be done by the head of safety, or the CSO, which is the Chief Safety Officer. These people will be working with the plant manager, with the health and safety department, the engineering and maintenance team, and also the environmental and quality control officers.
The control process is the managerial cycle that ensures the company's operations activities aligns with its goals. There are three types of control: feedback, concurrent, and feed-forward. When we look at the Bhopal gas tragedy, we can see failures in all three of these controls. At the feed-forward stage, critical preventive standards were ignored. The refrigeration system that was meant to keep MIC safe has been turned off to save costs. The gas scrubbers and flare tower were non-operational, and the storage tanks were built with low-quality steel that corroded over time. And at the concurrent stage, it was no better. Detection and correction broke down, the plant was understaffed, the employees were poorly trained, and some employees who noticed a few hazardous signs couldn't do anything about it because they either lacked the skills, authority, or equipment to do so. On top of this, communication and trust between managers and workers were very poor. And finally, at the feedback stage, failures continued even after the disaster. Maintenance and inspection records were mostly falsified or unreliable. Regulatory warnings were ignored, and Union Carbide leadership chose to prioritize legal defense and cost minimization over transparent learning.
So, what is the timeline and action plan for the new safety management and control system? The locations can be held on-site at the Bofos plant production floor or control room, where operational hazards are most likely to occur, and safety enforcement needs to be immediate. Next, quarterly emergency drills exercises will be held in the plant's operation yard, which is large enough to simulate realistic emergency conditions. Locations such as the Union Carbide Corporation's headquarters in USA is to ensure that corporate leadership and decision makers remain directly accountable for plant safety performance. On the other hand, implementation will begin immediately after the board's approval. In the first month, mandatory safety protocols will be finalized and distributed to all departments. Preventive maintenance schedules will be rolled out across the plant, with the first complete equipment inspection set for month 2. The quarterly emergency drills will start in month 3 and will be held on site at the Beaufort plant's operation yard, involving both employees and local emergency responders. Corporate level reviews will be conducted every 3 months at Union Carbide's headquarters to ensure the plant's compliance. Day-to-day safety checks and protocol enforcement will take place directly on the production floor and in the plant to control or in the control room to ensure hazards are caught early.
With real-time monitoring, one of the main concerns is actually the reliability of the technology. Das and Samantha actually highlighted in 2016 that without rigorous maintenance, sensors and alarms can actually give false readings and false data. And they could even fail entirely. Another problem is also the poor integration with external agencies. DARA's 2012 research actually showed that during the Bhopal disaster, local authorities were not informed in time, which had worsened the crisis entirely. Moving on to our final part, as An, Lee, and Penamora actually argued in 2019 that predictive analytics can actually be powerful only if supported by accurate, good, and supportive data and fast decision making. Without this, the system actually risks being just another layer of ineffective control.
Our second recommendation is to deploy a real-time hazard monitoring and response system. This technology-driven approach ensures that threats are detected early, allowing for immediate corrective action before they become a major issue. The first step is to install advanced sensors throughout the facility to monitor key safety parameters. For example, gas leaks, pressure levels, and temperature fluctuations, anything that can damage or hurt employees. These sensors must be strategically placed based on the risk profile of every single area in the company. Next, we integrate these sensors into central control platforms that operates 24/7. This platform should be connected to both on-site teams and remote monitoring experts, ensuring multiple layers of oversight. Finally, we establish a real-time communication protocol. This ensures that once a threat is detected, the right people know instantly and can respond in a coordinated way. This approach not only improves safety outcomes, but also builds trust with employees, the community, and regulators.
Will be in charge of each task. So these tasks, knowing the time monitoring and alarm system for hazardous chemical leaks and operational safety, there is four departments or 4 parts, which are the chief safety officers, the plant manager, the control room operation, and the process control engineers. Chief safety officers oversee the overall system and ensure that alarm triggers appropriately in responses. Plant manager is accountable for ensuring the systems are operating in daily basis and there's emergency protocol that are followed. Station and process control engineers are responsible for maintaining and calibrating monitoring equipments, ensuring sensors and alarms work correctly. While control room operators are basically frontline staff that are monitoring real-time readings and from sensors and control panels.
So, for action plan number 2, where and when should the monitoring and response system be implemented? Monitoring systems such as sensors should be put into MIC storage tanks inside the Beaufort plant on the 2nd month to measure the temperature, pressure, or leak detection. On the 3rd month, monitoring dashboards in the plant control room and corporate HQ should be implemented for an automated alarm system linked to local hospitals and emergency services. On the 6th month, predictive analytics dashboards in both the plant's control room and corporate headquarters. Other implementations such as a complete integration with external agencies including fire brigades and disaster management authorities on month 12. There should be a daily routine monitoring of MIC storage facility, emergency coordination from the plant's control center and the Central Disaster Response Office in Beaufort City.